Hello and welcome to Nerva Podcast episode 4. It's been a little while, guys, and I do apologise about that. The reason being is that me and Leigh are both, we have lives because we're adults, you see. We're Doctor Who fans who are adults, which seems to be in short supply on Twitter today. More on that in a bit.
Short supply everywhere.
Oh, I'm fucking sick of it. How are you, Leigh?
I'm alright, everything's fine. The police was here earlier and...
well, you need to stop shoving your tits out the window then, don't you? I've told you before about this. I know you're very happy about the casting news, but running around where you live with your tits out, shoving your parts in people's faces, you can't do that.
No, we can't.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not after the injunction.
Can I?
You can. Scott can.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Scott can. Yeah, you have prerogative, my friend. You're allowed to do that. Absolutely. How are you, Mr. Scott?
Mr. Scott's all better now, aren't you?
Mr. Scott's fine, yeah.
Oh, good, excellent stuff. Because Scott's not been very well. I won't go into it because it's not my place to. But Scott's not been very well. But he's getting better, which is good.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. We also have a special guest. I say special. I do mean in the short bus sense. He professes to be a Doctor Who fan, and I've known him for a long time. People who listen to this probably know him. Introduce yourself, special guest.
Hi, I'm Radio's Glenn Jakeman, and I'm here to tell you the story of the Transformers. I'm also known as Matt Clarke, aka Timey to Wimey. Hi!
Hello. Not that you're a massive Doctor Who fan or anything. No,
nothing like that. I don't know where that username came from. I just literally pulled it out of my rear end.
That's everything. But at least it ain't Timey Wavy.
No. Oh, thank God for that. That guy is gone.
Gone around 10 years. Excellent stuff.
It makes me laugh when people go and wish him a happy birthday. I have to tell them, A, he hasn't been on the internet for quite some time. And also, he's fiction.
Speaking of which, people getting upset over fictional characters. Oh, wow, it's been a big day today for Doctor Who fans. First off, can I just say, BBC, just announce stuff. Just just announce it on the news. Just say it's going to be on the news. Don't say, we're going to do it with a big, massive television programme that sucks, and Rufus Hound is going to name the new Doctor before we actually want him to name the new Doctor. And also, don't say we'll name it after the Wimbledon final, which will go on until about 6:30, surely. No, it didn't. It was Roger Federer's year, apparently. I don't know. I don't watch tennis. But apparently the Croatian guy choked like a motherfucker, apparently.
Yeah, he did. He wrenched his arm or something, and when I looked, he was crying his eyes out. Who was that?
Dignity, though. Always dignity, innit?
Oh, yeah.
But never mind. So he lost, and Federer won in straight sets or whatever it is. I don't understand tennis, but there you go. Something to do with love. Anyway. So they had to announce it early. So there's a load of people who were counting or built their days around the fact that he was going to be 6:30, who were really angry because they didn't see the announcement when it was announced. Like it's a thing.
Yeah. They literally said after the male finals. That is it, not the whole thing. They did the mixed, mixed tag. God, it's not mixed wrestling. Tag.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, man. No, they did the mixed things afterwards, and that was the thing that went on till about 6:30. They literally said men's finals. That could have been any time in that scheduling block.
Now all I want to see is mixed tag Wimbledon matches. That'd be amazing. Good God! But there you go. So yes, we have a 13th Doctor, and for a lot of people, for most people, it seems to have gone down really, really well. For the ones who haven't, or the ones that, like me, are a bit, I don't know, anticlimactic would be the word I would use. Not angry, I'm not angry at all. It's a lady Doctor. We're going to have a female Doctor eventually after 54 years, and it is Jodie Whittaker, who apparently is in things like Broadchurch and Attack the Block and a few other things that I've been shouted at that I have to watch now. I don't know who she is. I've never seen her in anything. So I got all geared up, and I knew it was a woman. You could totally tell that it was a woman. They tried to hide it with the hoodie and the big coat. That was the whole point of that, I think.
It was the shoes that gave it away.
It was the build of the person that gave it away. and also the long hair. But yeah, she took the hood off, and there you have Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor, and a really badly photoshopped David Tennant era TARDIS. That's what pissed me off about that. Not the fact that we got a woman Doctor, the fact that they cheaped out on the photoshopping. Stop that.
That was all these holy hoodies she had on.
I think just say it on the news. Don't make it a thing.
You want the days of the old
6 o'clock news.
When you had this guy saying, and now travelling through time and space is a new actor. His name is Peter Davison.
Moira Stewart. I remember her doing it because it was Davison into Baker, and it was Moira Stewart, and you can see it online and on DVDs and stuff. That's all I want. I don't want anything more. Don't make it a big thing.
News at 6 used to announce when the new Doctor came along, and News at 6 used to announce when the Doctor was leaving. Those days are gone now. We're now living literally in a period of mass media everywhere. To the point where people barely pay attention to the news itself now because we can easily access it on Facebook.
24 hours a day anyway. But okay, I mean, I'm going to say straight away, I have no preconceptions about what she's going to be like. I'm really glad it's a female Doctor. I'm not sure the plan was always for it to be a female Doctor. I don't know, I get the feeling that this is very last minute. This is very 11th hour that they've decided pretty much in the last few weeks that it's going to be a female Doctor, because the smart money was on Chris Marshall for so long. I really, and Chibnall was saying, I don't want stunt casting and I don't want a female Doctor just yet. That can lead to two things. Either number one, he was lying all along, which
he was lying.
I fucking hate that. I don't want that in a showrunner. That really does put me against Chris Chibnall then, if that's the case.
But Moffat was doing that all the time as well.
Moffat just directed. Moffat didn't directly lie. He would say, I don't know, could it be? That was Moffat's style. He'd sort of be ambiguous about stuff. Chibnall just straight up lied, and the only other person who straight up lies is fucking people like Lorenzo de Bonaventura and Michael Bay and all them lot. I don't want the showrunner to just lie to me. That is just going to wind me up over the next few years. As I have always said, that the big question mark is not over the actor playing the Doctor, it's over Chris Chibnall, because I just don't like that guy. So yeah, I have no issues with it being a female Doctor. I've said for ages now, I'm happy to be it. It would have been nice if I knew who it was, so I could get really excited about it. Because now,
who Matt Smith was, and
yeah, oh no, I absolutely take that on board. But I didn't get excited about Matt Smith either. You know, I was really just sort of ambiguous about it. Tennant, I knew because he'd been cast on over who's in Blackpool, so I got really excited about him.
Yeah.
And Capaldi, obviously, it's Peter Capaldi. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be better when you don't know who it is. You've got no preconceived ideas. You've got no box to put them in and say, I reckon they'll play it like that. There's a lot of pressure on her. There's a lot of pressure on her because, number one, a lot of people, most people, won't know who she is. And number two... Also, I was going to say number two, the fact that it's a female Doctor, maybe, and this is just me spitballing and playing devil's advocate, maybe they should have put a bigger name in for the first female Doctor. Maybe they should have put somebody who's going to be a draw. And maybe those people said no.
I actually pretty much disagree with that. I think man or woman, sometimes you've got to put an unknown entity into that role because then it's a case of it's not what they are, it's what they bring to the table. I've been saying this most of this night. I don't know who this lady is at all. I was like, yay, over the concept they were finally bringing a woman in after, like you said, 54 years. But I don't know who she is. I've never really seen her in anything. Then I've discovered she had brown hair in Broadchurch, and I was like, oh, right, her. Because I at least saw some episodes of Broadchurch before I packed it in. I don't know what her Doctor's like yet. You don't know what her Doctor's like yet. No one knows what her Doctor's like yet. She hasn't said a freaking word. She held a key up in front of a mock-up of a TARDIS.
Really bad mock-up.
The real excitement now is to see what she's going to be like when she finally debuts. Sure. And that is what I'm excited for.
Sure. Well, what about you, Leigh? Obviously, you do know who she is. You said on Facebook quite a bit that you're quite excited about this, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, I thought she was pretty good in Broadchurch, all the episodes. Attack the Block. She was absolutely brilliant. And that has John Boyega in his... I think that's how you pronounce his name anyway.
Boyega, yeah.
He played the main character in that, and she was basically the woman who told them all to stop being idiots and just get on with it.
Mm. Cool.
But yeah, I think she'll work. Plus, she kind of reminds us of Capaldi herself, facially. I mean, you know how Capaldi's got this, like, an evil angel fairy look towards the face, facial features. He's fairly similar too. But all the doctors have been like that, a bit ethereal, even Colin Baker. Yeah,
Terence Dicks always said they've got this the same nose, effectively. They've got like a hawkish nose and a curious young old face.
Yeah, all looked very ethereal, as if they've been around for thousands of years.
That's what they all need to hit. That's the standard. They all need to look young but old.
Unless you're Peter Davison, where you've just got a pleasant open face.
Yeah. Terence Dicks, thank you very much. But he had old eyes. It was Pertwee, wasn't it? The young old face, curious nose and a young old face.
Oh, he was very, very childish at times. Pertwee.
Oh, I love Bert. That's why I like him. He's pertinent. He's just an asshole. An asshole with an office job. He doesn't like it.
You're talking about noses. When they did that rollback and mix regeneration between Pertwee and Tom Baker, it was all the nose.
Oh yeah,
the nose was the central focal point there. It did not change.
Had to be. I mean, like I say, as long as they get the character right, and they can't change the character. This is the thing. Don't change the character because it's a woman. Keep it exactly the same. That shouldn't make a difference at all to anything.
Like I said, the nod they should give to it was, I'm a girl? No. Oh, yes. And then that's that.
With the hair, yeah. Like 11.
And then down and there's boobs. Oh, yeah, I am a girl. Oh, well.
As long as they get the character right, which I'm sure they will, and don't start bringing don't make gender an issue. Don't make it an issue for everyone else, because it won't be for the Doctor.
I'm probably going to be the optimist here, but I honestly don't think it will be. It'll just be a woman just so happen to be playing the Doctor. I honestly think that.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Michelle Gorman playing the Master.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that changed Missy was the fact that she spent 70 years in Pokey.
Mm.
So there was this sort of weird Stockholm Syndrome thing going on.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to say that. She suddenly developed Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. That's all that was. It wasn't because she was a woman, because, you know, she had 2 series. The best thing is when Clara said, "Are you good?" It's just like killing fools. I'm not good. Not changed. I'm still an asshole. Just do that. I mean, like I say, I really wish people had stopped saying, "Oh, that's a costume." I fucking don't. That's a joke. I don't want her in a shapeless hoodie. Thank you very much.
She's already said on the 13 questions for the 13 Doctors Q&A that it's not her costume. It was just something she had.
Yeah, they won't work it out yet. If they are going for it, they should do something like Scully off the X-Files. Go for that. Or Edwardian lady. Something like Charlie Pollard would have worn.
Yeah.
That's what we need. That's what she wants to be. Charlie Pollard.
Hmm.
Or that kind of Edwardian adventurous.
I'm just thinking with which variation of Charlie Pollard would it be? It would be the Edwardian adventurous, like you said, or the mix of the modern and the old that she wore later on, because there was some very nice artwork of her drawn by Lee Sullivan, showed her in this sort of retro postmodern mix, and that would be awesome.
I mean, if they're being very, very brave, what they could do, because most people only really know him from one story, it could sort of turn her into kind of Big Finish 8 Doctor.
What, with the frock coat?
Well, no, not about the costume so much, but the whole character, because he was always the most sort of human of the Doctors anyway. If they are wanting to go down that kind of a route, they could sort of make her an 8th Doctor type.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. But we don't know, we'll find out. Half the fun with Doctor Who is conjecture anyway. All I do know is that it's pissed off a lot of people for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I haven't seen a lot of it because I don't follow a lot of bellends on Twitter. And David Baddiel said the same thing. He said, I haven't really seen it because I don't follow bellends. because they're bell ends. But I know Ian. See, there's so many things I want to say about him.
Look. I'll cover it for you, okay? I will do a dramatisation of some of the many tweets he has posted today. Okay? Fuck you, Chibnall. Fuck you. That is it. I am done with this show. And the other one is...
Yeah, Peter said anything yet.
And the other one, of course, is... Oh, that's it. This Chibnall makes me want to vomit. I have never been more appalled in my life. I am literally vomiting right now.
He didn't do much vomiting when he was... when I've got to be careful, because you can libel... He's not dead yet, so you can't libel a dead man, but he's very much alive.
Shall we not, then? Shall we just go into the usual knocking of... So why exactly are you hiding all of those episodes of Marco Polo?
Probably because they're shit, let's face it. Look, Ian Levine hasn't been relevant for 30 years.
That's what he's doing. He's just grasping at as much attention as he could possibly do. And negative sort of bounce back is just as good for him as any kind of positive. He's an internet troll. An internet troll that's been in this fandom now for over 40 years. And that's scary.
Longer than that.
Yes.
But hey, Northern Soul Nights, eh? What kind of shit have you seen online then, Lee?
Oh, you're going to love this one.
Oh, I'm sure I won't.
Another attempt to turn boys into little homosexuals and at the same time show that women and lovies are too stupid to invent their own characters, so must steal and culturally appropriate proper male models.
Who's that from?
Some commenter on the Telegraph.
Oh, well, the Tory graph there. I'm surprised they just didn't say, well, it isn't Princess Diana, so we're not interested. I don't get that one when they say, oh yes, by turning the Doctor into a girl, they're going to make little boys homosexual. Surely not. Surely they're going to make 13-year-old boys interested in Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to preach to the choir that quite a lot of other people have been posting. It'll finally give those girls that want to play out as Doctor Who a chance to do that. And it's becoming real. Anyone can now be the Doctor. And I'm happy for them. It's perfectly fine.
You see, I'm not sure how to feel about that one, because I'm very much of the opinion that little girls don't necessarily need girls to be a role model. A role model's a role model.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right.
I'm not going to say I don't respect Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's a man. I respect him because he's the fucking biggest brain motherfucker on the planet, apart from Hawking,
Let me...
My 14-year-old daughter, do you know who her biggest role model is?
Who's that, Lee?
Her biggest role model, the Joker, Batman, and Loki.
Yeah. Let me backpedal a little bit here. For every sort of person, no matter where they fall in the world, to then get told, well, no, you can't do that. Well, that's a massive up yours. You can be anything you want to be.
Oh, yeah, it's completely opened it up now. The cat is out of the bag and Pandora's box is completely open, which is a great thing. It means any actor can be Doctor Who regardless of whether they're male or female, and that's a brilliant thing. They could anyway. I mean, they've been seeding the idea for fuck knows how long now, 3 years at least. Because obviously Moffat turned the Master into Missy. You then had the General get shot and immediately regenerate into a woman, so you actually saw it on screen that can happen.
And not only that, she then said that she wasn't getting that used to being a man anyway, so she was generally a woman anyway.
Yeah, her main template will be woman.
And also the Doctor himself, he said humans and gender ideas, can you not be more open-minded?
Yeah, and thankfully Russell T Davies is no longer associated with the show, so we can't twist that into something else. Because when they said about...
said something similar as well.
Yeah.
I do want some fans to get really offended now when there's a man bouncing around calling himself Susan Foreman.
Could be. Well, it could be a boy named Sue. Ayo. That could be Johnny Cash, could be a future incarnation of Susan Foreman.
Yep. Up and with that.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, the Doctor himself said that, in the last 2 episodes, he didn't know whether he was a man or a woman when he first met the Master. So, the first...
Douglas Camfield.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I didn't like about that is the fact that, is the First Doctor the First Doctor? Well, I'm still calling him the First Doctor.
I'm going to call him the First Doctor, because even if he's had other incarnations prior to that one, it might be the first incarnation to decide to call himself the Doctor. If we're going to have, right, I'm the War Doctor, grumpy, I'm never the Doctor, and then the next one say, well, I'm the Ninth Doctor, then what's to say there's been other incarnations before William Hartnell, he just wasn't the Doctor.
Oh, Robert Holmes.
Yeah.
Morbius.
Yeah, exactly. Bob Holmes, he's the best incarnation of the Doctor. I'm saying it, calling it now.
Hypernal.
You would say that. Jason, he's the best incarnation of the Doctor.
Yes.
The only one that got me slightly was Purvis when he said, "Oh, I don't want it to be a woman." I was actually, oddly enough, watching Doctor Who at 40, the UK Gold stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When they did a talkie head bit, and he said on there, "I'd love it to be a woman." I don't know, you change your tune in fucking 10 years. But Jason said on there, oddly enough, he said it should absolutely be a woman. And that was 10 years ago, before they kind of brought the series back. So there's no problem with it being a woman. And anybody who has had a go at me today, and there's been a few, that is absolutely not what I meant when I said I was underwhelmed. I'm underwhelmed because I would have liked to have known this person before. But there you go. That can't always be the case. I'm not going to go back and watch fucking Broadchurch just to make sure I know who she is, because Broadchurch is fucking dreadful. I'm sorry.
You have to. Just do what I'm going to do and wait when this new Doctor arrives. It's simple as.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because nothing that she's done before will inform what she's going to do, so...
if I wanted to go by misinformation, I mean, I could... I totally saw Matt Smith as Cockney Wideby from Ruby in the Smoke. I already prejudged him as that because that's what I thought he was.
See, I've not seen that. The only thing I'd seen him in was the deleted scene off In Bruges.
Right.
Where he chops that fella's head off when he's refined.
What I saw him in was Secret Diary of a Call Girl, and he was a...
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Never seen that, thank fuck. I don't want to see Rose Tyler fucking men and women. I just don't need to see that at all.
Oh, it was brilliant. I loved it.
Oh, no, thank you.
Have you seen Colin Baker's tweet about Jodie Whittaker?
Yes. She's the Doctor, whether you like it or not.
It's great.
Colin Baker, as usual, winning the internet.
Yes. You love Colin Baker.
What is it, Matt Lucas said, how dare they cast a human in the role of the Doctor?
He's a Time Lord. You have to go to Gallifrey to cast these people, god damn it. Where did Tom Baker come from?
The thing is, as well, Time Lady now should be a defunct term, because we don't call them actresses or comedians anymore. It's comedian and actor. So now Time Lord can mean man and woman. It's the race. Yeah. It's the name of the race, not the name of the gender of the person.
To be fair, only one person ever took on the role Time Lady, and that was Romana.
Yeah.
Rani went by both.
Rani just was the Rani. She despised the Time Lords anyway. That's who we should bring back now.
We should have the Rani as a man. A very, very, very ravishing man.
The thing is, no, you can't do that, because the name the Rani means mistress.
So?
I don't know what's the point. My question there would be, what's the point? When you've got the Master you don't really need the Rani anymore. And the Rani was always a bit shit anyway, let's face it. The 2 stories she's in aren't great.
Well, no, and we know why you don't like them, because of the writers writing things quick. I know, I completely agree.
I actually think Mark of the Rani has some great ideas. It's got brilliant ideas. Time of the Rani has some great ideas. But it's sloppy. And I like the idea of the Rani. I like the idea that she's not interested in anything like conquest. She just wants to she's more, Rick, off Rick and Morty, basically. Just wants to fuck around science. I don't know. Wouldn't it be confusing to bring her back now?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I think you can, in theory, you can totally bring any of them back. You can even bring back Mortimus the meddling monk if you wanted to.
Well, they brought Rassilon back, and he was supposed to be dead a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Could be interesting to see how Davros reacts to a lady doctor, that's for sure.
Davros will probably really say, well, I was a woman all along.
Davros won't care. He'll just say, I don't give a shit what you look like, I still want to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Davros don't give a damn.
Davros will never kill the doctor. He could have killed him in The Witch's Apprentice, and he didn't.
Wanted to, though.
Could have had that snaky bloke just go bloody choke the life out of the doctor there and then.
The Cockney Snakes?
Mm.
Colony Seth. That's a fucking stupid name. Great idea, stupid name. Why would he be working for the Daleks? That doesn't make any difference to me. It's stupid. But no, I said we're all agreed it's a good change to have a female doctor.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. The Doctor should be anyone or anything. So long as the principal core essence of the Doctor remains, then anyone can be the Doctor so long as they're good in the role. I do not care, so long as they're good in the role.
All agree that Sonic Shades were essentially a bad idea, though, yeah?
They were a very nice prop. But then again, Glenn, I don't like Sonic anything anyway.
Gotta have the Sonic screwdriver.
I will dare. Use that Sonic screwdriver sparingly. I like the Sonic screwdriver, but it has become the magic wand.
Well, it is. It always was.
Yeah, it always was, and therefore should be used sparingly.
Glasses were brought in because Capaldi wanted it to be so that anyone could pick up a pair of sunglasses and be the Doctor.
Yeah.
Anyone could put on their dad's suit jacket and be the Doctor.
I think that's going to go by the wayside, all that now. I honestly think they're going to really have a big costume for her.
Yeah.
And they should. We need a costume. The Doctor should have a costume. Maybe not with bloody question marks all over it. Maybe do without that.
Oh, no.
Apparently, was right back to knit the Seventh Doctor's jumper.
I must admit, I do want that. I really like that jumper.
I did have it on my Amazon wish list for the longest time, but I got fed up at the price escalating for what was basically a woolly jumper.
I think Harriet's got one, hasn't she? Because she does the Osgood cosplay.
She does.
She does it so well, but she really looks like Osgood.
She is very good.
I'll do 11 Doctor cosplay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Tweed jacket, corduroy skirt, big heeled DMs.
Yeah.
Screwdriver. Yeah, it works. There's a lot of people who do feminised doctors.
Oh yeah, there's loads of I think I can't remember her name. Is it Crystal D who does the YouTube Doctor Who stuff? She does 12. Yeah. She does 12 really well as well.
She's done 12 and she's done Tennant, and she's been good as both.
There's loads of Tennant ones because I suppose
loads at Comic Con as well when we go.
I suppose because Tennant's a bit androgynous anyway.
Yeah.
That works. Not so many Lady... I saw Lady 5 as well. I've seen loads of Lady 5s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is always a good thing. And Lady 6s for some reason. But then the ladies like 6. So.
Do they wear the blue coat?
No, they totally should. I did see a picture the other day of somebody photoshopped a black coat.
There was a guy that literally, through sheer expense of his own, did like a proper TV standard, like blue Sixth Doctor costume, with with all the fabrics in the world in it, and it looked beautiful. That's what the Sixth Doctor should totally wear. I mean, they already do it in the audios.
Yeah, he does it in the audios, doesn't he, basically?
Unfortunately, Big Finish seem to have put him right back in the multicoloured again. They kind of need to by the time he regenerates.
Yeah.
But that time when he was all dressed in blue, great.
Colin Baker wanted to be in black because it was very swimming, apparently, but because the Master was dressed in black, he went in.
Why, my dear Doctor, you cannot wear the same shit as I do.
Even if you love or hate that horrible patchwork coat, and I do, you've got to admit that is such a challenge for cosplayers, though, to do that from scratch.
I love it so much. He's probably my favourite classic era Doctor, 6E, especially with the audios as well. The Big Finish stuff is great. I've been listening to the stuff with Flip. Flip's great.
They're all great. All of his Big Finish companions are bloody good.
I just listened to the Juggernauts. That was the last story I just listened to a couple of days ago, and it's like, Jesus, she's really good. And anything I ever said bad about Malloy in the audios, you just take it away because he fucking knocks it out of the park every time.
Well, Malloy has always been a great actor. He's just been served yet again by some terrible scripts used by Eric Saywood.
Eric, why aren't the Cybermen in it Saywood? But there you go. As long as Eric Saywood's not doing the scripts for 13, then we'll be all right.
If I were to make one suggestion to anyone listening out here now, they're cheap as chips. Go to the Big Finish website, because a lot of the Evelyn Smythe stories are now for sale for about $2.99 a pop.
Yeah. So
check them out. They are some of the best Sixth Doctor audios ever made. I am not even joking.
She was great with Maggie Stables.
Yeah.
Sadly no longer with us, but she was brilliant. Real Time as well, if you can check that out. He's on YouTube as well. And you've got not only Yi Ji So, who played, is it Chang? From the movie, but it's also got Lee and Herring in it as well, which is amazing. It's
a great audio. Shame that it never really got resolved.
No, it's Cybermen, though, isn't it? But Cybermen's always good. Which segues. It segues very, very nicely into the last 2 episodes of Doctor Who. We're not going to really talk about the Eaters of Light because, to be fair, there's not a lot to say about the Eaters of Light. It was a great standard episode of Doctor Who. Nothing wrong with it. Just nothing really to talk about. However, World Enough and Time, stupid title, I maintain that, and The Doctor Falls, brilliant. Can I just say, great. I think we're all agreed on the fact that they were good.
Yeah.
So was it the Master who created the Mondasian Cybermen in the first place?
No.
Oh.
No.
In that little microcosm, it was.
Yeah, what a lot of people seem to fail to realise, and that's mainly because the narrative never really fully explained it.
Yeah.
This was a rocket ship that left Mondas, and the development of the Mondasians into the Cybermen was always going to happen for them. It just happened on a different path and on a much slower descent than it did for the planet in itself.
It was more that the Master, obviously with his future knowledge, pushed it along.
Yeah.
He made it happen because he wrecked everything by ruling over them as Harold Saxon. I'm guessing he was Harold Saxon again.
Yeah.
I'd like to think he was. They never really made it clear. He ruled them, and he did say he was their former Prime Minister, so I do like to think that he did Harold Saxon again.
Probably. Obviously under a different name. And then obviously he did the Delgado disguise thing.
Yes.
With great.
That was amazing.
Very Zaphras.
Yes, that's what I was thinking as well, but Scott in there, he doesn't like Babylon 5, so I didn't bother mentioning Zaphras.
Oh,
Babylon 5's a big pile of shit.
Well, we can't all be, we can't all be great. Yeah, I'd say yet again, because it's for the same price in the Big Finish site right now, $2.99. Go check out Spare Parts.
99p.
That is 99p. What a lot of people. Yeah, 99p. I think it's gone back to $2.99 at the moment.
I got it for 99p.
I got it for 99p. That's after initially having it.
By the way, that is a snip. By the way,
it's so.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
I'd say
that they based the 10th Doctor Cybermen stories.
Yes, very, very, very loosely, but yeah, enough to get a good old credit for Mark Platt.
It's enough of an adaptation that you can still have the two coexist, like Jubilee got adapted into Dalek. You can still have them as two individual stories. You can still see where Rob Shearman nicked certain plot points.
Oh, yeah.
But you can still totally just experience both stories as two individual stories.
Absolutely. Like I say, we will talk about that in a little while. But first off, the World Enough and Time stuff, so atmospheric. So this pervading thing of dread throughout the whole episode, from when Bill got shot to when she was taken down into the depths of the spaceship. I love the whole 60s-ness of it. The hospital waiting room and the whole Mondas era kind of stuff. It just looked like the mid-60s, like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And you could sort of tell where the Cybermen were going to come from. The whole they made it into much more of a medical procedure than just cybernization, like they usually do.
That would have been where it would have started anyway, because let's not forget the whole point of the Cybermen was we needed to start replacing our bits and bobs, that would have been purely medical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was the equivalent of getting a prosthetic pacemaker. You know,
that's exactly what it is, 'cause that's what Bill gets.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, she gets a heart replacement, literally that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, the whole thing is that the environment is such that they need to start replacing everything, but it's a really slow burn, so that people who don't necessarily know any of the history of the Cybermen, they're being taken on this story as well. I thought it was really clever the way they did that they didn't assume that everybody knew how the Cybermen got started or why they got started. So all crusties like us three, we can see it happening. You know, we know what's going to happen effectively, but the newer viewers to it don't necessarily know. And I thought it was really good the way they did that, but it was really tense the whole way. I was very tense the whole way through it, because I kind of thought, are they going to do it? Are they going to turn Bill into a Cyberman?
I think that was going to be a foregone conclusion, in all fairness, considering we knew she was on her way out. We knew.
Yeah,
In all fairness, we knew she was going to be a one-season companion.
I kind of know why as well.
Well,
I've heard tales that the cast didn't get on with her. She's a bit of a diva, apparently.
Well, I don't know that. You don't really know that.
No,
but
I've got it on pretty good authority.
Regardless what's going on behind the scenes, what was in front of us was excellent.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, what did you think, Leigh? Did you think about did you kind of know that Bill was going to be turned into a Cyberman?
I was kind of hoping, no, please don't kill her, because I thought she was brilliant in a brand new. At the end when she turned up as the Cyberman, I was like, oh no.
I thought they did it really well as well.
Yeah,
they didn't just sort of. You kind of knew it was her, but you were hoping that it wasn't, and they really drew it out. While that was going on.
Yeah. And the tea.
Was that, sorry?
And the tea.
Yes, which obviously explains. That's why they do it. Yeah. Well, they did it with Yvonne Hartman as well, didn't they? They did what I did for Queen and Country.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about that.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, but there you go. And then, of course, while all that's going on, you've got the Master and Missy finding each other, which was great. That was I like disguises. Do you like disguises? Give us a kiss. Eve's
Get
great.
up with yourself. What do you call it? It can't be incest.
As a narcissist.
Narcissist, yeah.
He was told to go fuck himself, and he took it literally. But I also like the fact that he was so cruel to Bill as well. It's that whole 10 years.
Yeah, that was bloody evil, that.
He is, though. That's his master. That's what Russell T Davies tried to instill in obviously Last of the Time Lord and all that, and it sort of didn't get there. But this master is particularly cruel because he's the anti-tenant.
Abuse. It's emotional abuse.
Yeah, he is that. He did that to Lucy. He abused Lucy. I mean, lest we forget, he's as a domestic batterer.
Yeah, that wasn't nice. I don't think they should have ever brought that in, because the master can be cruel without using his fists.
Yeah. Well, this master, that's what he's turned into, certainly in this last 2 episodes. He is more the emotional manipulator, the cerebral assassin, shall we say.
You say this, and yet I think, isn't shrinking people while still alive to the point where they die from the sheer compression kind of very nasty?
But they're not people to him. They're not things, are they? Just...
Neither is Lucy, and neither is Bill.
He was very Culverton Smith about it, isn't he? Off Sherlock. They turn people into things. Make people things. But yeah. The only thing that slightly pissed me off about the episode is that Mondas wasn't upside down Earth. When they showed Mondas, it was normal Earth. They just said it's twin planet. No, it's supposed to be upside down.
Well,
it's upside down. That's nitpicking of the highest order. That is.
Do you know what? Maybe the image was upside down, Glenn. Did you ever consider that?
Maybe they just got it wrong, Matt. Did they ever consider that?
Maybe the whole time the picture was taken upside down, and we just seeing it upright.
Nah, I think I'm right on this one. But yeah, the only other thing, I understand why they did this. They didn't do the exact Roy Skelton Cyberman voice. because I don't think people would have understood it.
That would have been silly.
It would have been silly for that time. It works on the audio and it works in the 10th Planet. I don't think it would have worked here.
Nah. It's even though they look outwardly like the old 60s Cybermen, they are still a different strain of Cybermen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then, they obviously look a bit updated as well, and they've got obviously the lamps on their heads aren't lamps, they are lasers. They didn't have the whole belly laser thing that they had going on. Which is fine, and then there's tweaks. And the only other thing I wish they hadn't done, again, I understand why they did it. They did the whole Cyberman stomping sound.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if you guys. I think Glenn will know. I don't know if you know this, Lee. There's that somewhat weird book called Cybermen, written by David Banks, and then he has that whole flowchart thing of which. Okay, the Mendacian Cybermen is where all of this started, but from which, when they splintered off out of the planet, they all became a different kind of Cybermen with slightly different tweaks and slightly different ways of doing things, hence why they look so different from story to story. And all this is just, right, we look like the Mendacian Cybermen, but this is what we are. So any kind of weird continuity difference between them and 10th Planet can be easily hand-waved away by saying, well, we're the spaceship Mondasian Cybermen, not the Telosians. Yeah, the Telosians, the Cyber Nomads, the ones from the Revenge of the Cybermen who get a sniffle whenever you put gold dust near them. That sort of thing. So it's easily hand-waved away, any of that sort of...
Do not make fun of my Cybermen!
I will, because they're rubbish.
Said Christopher Robbie, Southern TV's announcer for a long, long time. That's weird, that is. That's just
I suppose we got the Doctor to tweak what Cybermen considered as human.
Yeah.
Which would explain why the metabolize other races as well, like the Borg do.
They kick the Borg ass, though, in the comic.
Oh, yeah.
They absolutely kick the Borg's ass in the comics, which is great. So obviously Bill's now a Cyberman, and then we move on to a shed, really, on another level. It's really weird the way that story sort of starts, because it is literally, it is gruesome, the fact that all these villagers are just shooting these Cybermen, turning them into scarecrows. Which I'm sure is somewhere a Wurzel Gummidge reference. On some level, has to be.
Probably try and scare off the rest of the Cybermen from even trying to come, but obviously it won't work.
It don't work because they don't feel emotions. They are free of emotions, etc., and so on. What did we think of the Doctor Falls then? Did we like it as an episode?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think it...
I'll be absolutely honest. This is where you and me are probably going to disagree, Glenn, because I'm one of the camps that thinks that Stephen Moffat does fantastic build-up episode ones and not so good part twos. Right. Still good, great bits in them, but ultimately they're kind of disappointing. This one was the first one where I was like, yeah, this is cool. I don't know, is this going to be controversial or not? I did not like the end of Bill.
Do you know what? I didn't mind it so much. I thought it was very similar to Clara, and I think that's been sort of explored quite a bit. I think it was a better version of the Clara ending, because at least this time they'd seeded it from the start, and they had always said the pilot will probably come back for you one day.
I will concede that, because it felt like a much better solution. It still felt like the character became a Mary Sue again. It did feel like, okay, we turned into a Cyberman, what the hell are we going to do now?
I don't think it did.
That was the quick out clause.
I don't think they did, because they, like I say, they seeded it from the start that Heather would always be watching over Bill because they shared a love. They did share a moment. They did share, and Heather always said that she would come back for her. She wouldn't leave her.
Yeah. One thing I did like about that is it ain't just a case of, right, you're now going to be the star child for the rest of your life.
No, she said if you want to go back, you can do.
She literally said, if you want to go back to your normal life in Earth, we can do that.
Do what I want. Fine. Can do what I want. Yeah. I'm the pilot. Plus, I really like Heather. I really liked her. I'd have loved to have seen her more, Heather.
Now she was a person in her own right, sure.
Sorry, Lee, you were going to say something?
I'm just saying she was very, very sweet, Heather.
She was cool. She was also in Sherlock. I didn't realise.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, she was Watson's maid in The Abominable Bride.
Oh, yeah, she was.
But no, I would have liked to see more of Heather. It's a shame. It's one of those, but that's good. That's a good thing that you want more of a character.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that they did what they did because, look, I just wanted Clara gone and I wanted Maisie Williams to go as well. I did want them anyway.
But you've got the wish.
So they buggered off. So I was happy with that. But I think Bill's ending made a bit more sense. It had been seeded a long time ago. She had seen some of the universe and had got addicted to it. And I have to believe Bill's tears have probably got something to do with why the Doctor now might be a woman.
There's been a thing established in the last couple of regenerations where the influence of the companion sets the personality traits of the Doctor going.
That was Tennant, wasn't it? That was 10.
Because they're totally saying that Capaldi is Scottish and a bit grumpy because his lasting memories were the one with Amy.
Yeah. Well, it was Carcilius as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Carcilius. Physically Carcilius, personality traits would be Amy. Tennant... Oh, who the hell knows?
Well, it's Rose, wasn't it?
Tennant to Smith. I'm thinking, where the heck was he?
Trauma. That was massive trauma, wasn't it? So that's where that came from.
You could see that 10 was totally repressing the 11th Doctor, and the 11th had to come out fighting and screaming.
Well, that's like what happened to 6 and 7, because there was that whole story about 7 basically killing 6 to become 7. Because 6 was holding off because of the Valiard, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but Big Finish has totally retconned that away now.
Yeah.
The Last Adventure
they have, because
actually is a way more heroic end for 60, to be honest. Well, I actually prefer that in a way. But then again, Spoil Scratch was a bit of a heroic exit for him as well.
That's what it was, yeah.
I'll be honest, as cool as that is, that the Doctor basically killed himself, I always thought that was a bit naff in the long run. It was certainly dark. The idea that 7 basically made 60 commit suicide, that
problem is it doesn't fit with the series, because 7 in his original form was nothing. He wasn't dark anyway.
No.
So that only became when Cartmel became script editor properly.
Yeah. I think that The Last Adventure, although it's not particularly all that great, I still think it was a better way of 60 to bow out.
Mm-hmm.
Although, leaving slightly spoilish, they established that there's radiation around the planet of Lacursha and it's fatal to Time Lords. Why then, when leaving Lacursha, would the Doctor then regenerate into Paul McGann? Because he would have had to have left that planet. Anyway.
Pip and Jane Baker can write stories very quick.
But it wasn't Pip and Jane Baker that wrote this story, Glenn.
Oh, but they did write. Fuck that story.
You can't blame everything on Pip and Jane Baker, Glenn.
Fuck Time and the Rani. Fuck it up its ass. I hate the fucking thing. The only decent thing in fucking Time and the Rani is Wanda Ventham. Because Benadryl Haversack might have been on the set. But there you go. Yeah, so obviously... What's that, sorry?
I keep forgetting that Cumberbatch is a bit younger than us.
Yeah, well, no, he's about our age now. About my age, I think.
I'm young.
You're not young. You're older than
I'm the youngest person in this call. I'm happy. Woohoo! I'm suddenly young again. Woo!
You've got a strange young old face. But yeah, okay. Then, so generally, we are considered that we are quite happy with World Enough and Time and the Doctor Fall. I especially will say I'm very, very happy with the "Just Be Kind" speech.
Yes, that was great.
That was brilliant, and that's been you get at least one a series with Capaldi, at least one, because in his first series you had the one out of Flatline, where he said, "If you were determined to be the monsters, then I will be the Doctor." That was the moment he properly became the 12th Doctor in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously, you had the Zygon anti-war speech in the last series that he was in.
Yeah.
And then this, and that was brilliant. And I loved the way Sin Master said, "See this face? This is the face of a man who hasn't heard a word you said." It's like,
yeah, I love the way it was so dismissive.
Oh, it was awful. And then Missy, obviously, nearly, just no. And then she did, but he shot her in the back. because she stabbed him. She literally stabbed him in the back.
And
She
if
told
any,
the doctor she was going to stab the master in the back, because when she held his hand, I'm pretty sure she was letting him feel the knife that she had.
Yeah, I would believe that.
and if anybody genuinely thinks that's it for the Master, how they're going to get her out of this? The Master's been in worse.
In 1984, I saw the Master literally on fire. Literally, his body was burning.
Abandoned on a planet that was about to go Krypton in survival, with no TARDIS.
Literally no body to regenerate into.
Literally turns into a CGI snake and possesses Eric Roberts. He's been in much, much worse sticks than this.
And he refused to regenerate last time.
Yeah. The only thing I would ask is that they leave it for a few years now.
Yeah.
Don't have him back and don't make him a him again just because they feel they have to, because it's a woman doctor. Just leave it for a bit.
Didn't they totally retcon? Oh no, I'm totally missing out the Christmas episodes when Tennant regenerated there.
We tried to forget those.
Yes, I know.
I don't want to go. I think that had more impact on me when he said it in The Day of the Doctor. That really got me. And it got me when Capaldi said it as well.
You know what, though? The Capaldi doing that has retroactively made the Tennant one slightly okay for me now, because if he doesn't want to regenerate at times and he's kind of forced into it, of course he's going to be moody, grumpy, sulky.
Yeah,
all
he
that.
didn't want to regenerate when he was the Fifth Doctor.
No.
He had no choice because he was poisoned.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
It's
The whole
timing.
I will not change. The whole idea is ridiculous. That was
None of them want to change.
no, apart from McGann, the Eighth Doctor wanted to, and obviously War Doctor wanted to, and the only one who's been moderately all right with it was Eccleston, because he didn't want to stay anyway, because he's an a-hole. But anyway, the ending. Can we just talk about the ending? How fucking great that was. I mean, I knew it was coming. Everybody, it was the worst kept secret in Doctor Who fandom. But, oh my word, David Bradley's perfect.
Yes, he is.
Because he was perfect as William Hartnell, and he was just great. He just sweeps in and just steals the show completely from everybody.
Some people Handle anyway.
Yeah,
Handel didn't know. And to be fair, Handel died like 4 months after doing it as well. So, as Mark Strickson said, he was a complete character. Let's not be disingenuous here. He was a complete character, but yeah, Bradley is the first Doctor.
Maybe he was dropped from the other universe, the one that Rose was dumped into.
Yes, exactly. He just did that a lot.
Yeah.
And to be fair, at least they lifted his line and gave it to Bradley, the original, you might say.
that's cool.
No. That won't do at all. You might be a doctor, but I am the Doctor. And it's like, dude, that's amazing.
It's great. Come on, Big Finish. As nice as it is to get flipping William Russell and Peter Purves to just do the voice along with their characters, you've got a ready-made, David Bradley right there.
If they can get John Hurt to do it.
Yeah,
you know?
It's going to happen.
If they can get Tom Baker to do it, let's put it that way. If he wouldn't do it. And I will just say the Big Finish Tom Baker stuff, fucking great.
The sad thing about the War Doctor is that after he did his initial few episodes, John Hurt wanted to make more.
Yeah,
he came back wanted to make more because he wasn't allowed to do any acting in movies and stuff because he wasn't medically cleared. Unfortunately, he was battling his cancer by then.
Very ill.
But they didn't have any scripts for him. That's why he ended up doing The Invisible Man for them.
Yeah.
But he wanted to do more. He wanted to do more War Doctor, and it's just so sad we're never going to get that.
He was really happy to be the War Doctor and be involved with Doctor Who with John Hurt. He was ecstatic, apparently.
You could see it when he was playing the role. He was so twinkly and bouncy.
Yeah.
Stop pointing it. It's a scientific instrument.
He wasn't even going to do it. He wasn't going to do those audios. It was literally because he had nothing to do.
Yeah.
He couldn't do any acting. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'll come in for a little while and do your silly little scripts. And then he fell in love with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Bradley will do it. I reckon because I'd love. Man, then all we need is Coulshaw to come in and do the third Doctor. Because I think his third Doctor's better than the fourth Doctor.
Smith being the second Doctor.
Fuck off! Fuck off right now! Oh, that was awful.
Fraser Hines, just to quickly move Glenn on. Fraser Hines does do a very good second Doctor. I think. Actually. Yeah, that's the exception to the rule of having the companions also do the Doctor's voice, because Fraser does a cracking Troughton.
If they can get some... Look, see, the dream thing now we've got the Lady Doctor. Do you know what I want a multi-Doctor story with? I want Sean Pertwee to come back and do the third Doctor, because the third Doctor and a female Doctor would be epic. Can you imagine? The condescension? You look just like Joe.
Only the BBC.
Now, you silly girl.
Yes, exactly. That'd be epic. That'd be amazing. But yeah, I can't wait till the Christmas special. And apparently, it's not going to be maudlin and sad. It's going to be really funny, from what I can tell off like the snippets off Radio Times, because they do a lot of Doctor Who stories. But from what I can gather, it is going to be really funny.
And if it's going to be what I think it's going to be, basically the first Doctor doesn't want to change. He's so stuck in his ways, he wants to just be this Doctor. And the second Doctor, 12th Doctor likewise. And they literally teach each other a thing or two, to the point where, right, I accept this now. And let's do it.
I think they might tie it into Day of the Doctor as well. I think they have to go off and do the thing with Gallifrey. And it might be that he finds Gallifrey in this one as well. I would like to think that would happen. Just sort that out. But yeah.
The Day of the Doctor, I think it's up there.
It'd be just like Moffat to dovetail it in, wouldn't it?
Yes. And look how neatly wrapped up the Trenzalore storyline.
Yeah.
And the silence. Oh yeah, they were just vicars.
Yeah.
Confessors.
They weren't really bad guys as such. I mean, they were, but they weren't.
And then, of course, there'll be the Valiant, because Valeyard, because I'm just looking at Prince Valiant right now. Of course, there'll be there's going to be the Valeyard, because it's between his 12th and final persona.
I think that's probably why they've gone for a female Doctor, so they don't have to go into the Valeyard storyline.
Yeah. Or they could have that as the main villain. That'd be good. Or just do it the Dream Launch, just have Toby Jones come back.
Yes.
And of course, while he was away, being Mr. Exile, hostile, not doing adventures anymore, Capaldi was totally Merlin.
Exactly.
Covered now. You don't need to approach it anymore. There is no Merlin incarnation. It's just the Doctor being a prat.
Yeah, as always. Very briefly then, sorry, Leigh.
I was just about to say, as River says, I hate wizards and fairy tales. They always turn out to be him.
Yeah, exactly. It is always him. Very, very briefly then, we did say we would talk about spare parts, because obviously it does dovetail nicely into the Cyberman stuff. I'm assuming we've all listened to Spare Parts at some point?
Yes.
Yep.
How cool is Spare Parts, guys?
Freaking cool. My only problem with it came from the early days of Big Finish, where they just played the old Doctor Who theme, and in my mind it really should be the Peter Davison, Peter Howell film.
Really? Because I don't know, I quite like it being that, because it sort of ties into it being of the 60s.
Well, they could always do, like, they do the Power one to begin with things, and when you go off to the old Cybermen, then maybe put the old Doctor Who theme in, but
you're just a Peter Howell slot, though, aren't you?
I am, because it's damn good, Glenn. It's a beautiful song, and then Kev McCulloch ruined it.
It's not as good as Kev McCulloch, though, surely.
Oh, you troll.
It's not even Kev. It was before Kev, the guy who did the Six Doctors thing, which I really like.
Oh, Dominic Glynn. Oh, well, you can't think 60 without thinking that song now. It's weird when Finish used the old one, the Howell one, for 60, because for me, 60 is Dominic Glynn.
Yeah, I completely agree there. Absolutely. I don't mind Kev McCulloch.
Anyway,
Spare Parts. So yeah, it is basically, for those who don't know and have never listened to it, it's the origin story for the Cybermen on Mondas, and it's creepy as fuck, basically. and really sad. It's a really sad story.
And you know why it's really sad, Glenn?
Because it's inevitable.
No,
Inevitable.
Put the kettle on. Go on.
Paul Copley. Paul Copley's great. He's great in everything, but he's especially great in that.
These are all people who are just leaving normal lives in an area that's pretty much curfew-ridden and all that, but these are all just normal people. So when they eventually get cyberized, you feel that. You totally feel that because they're just there living their lives to the best way that they can, and they genuinely think it's going to be for the betterment of them when they eventually become cyberized. For the odds like you.
Well, it's not even that because it's not even all of them that are supposed to go through it. It's supposed to be the guys working on the engines outside, so the crewmen.
But they genuinely think that this is, this is the best thing that's going to happen to them.
Well, it's like it is mirrored in what's it called? Age of Steel. And that, it's the same thing. It's an upgrade. It's supposed to make you better. They're doing you a favour. Now, I was listening to TV Cream, one of their podcasts, and they were on about this, and they said the Cybermen, they're never quite as scary when they think they're doing you a favour. I just want them to destroy things. Now, I couldn't disagree with that more, because I think the fact that they think that they're doing you a favour is terrifying. Any monster can go around and destroy. The Daleks, that's what they do. They just want to destroy everything because they're better than you. Cybermen, they're doing it because they genuinely think that you'll be better off as them. And that's scary.
Whoever thought that about the Cybermen obviously just thought that the Five Doctors was the best Cybermen story ever when they were just grunts that were at people's disposal.
I think, 80 Cybermen is what they think is the best. Now, I don't necessarily agree that they were. I really like the Cybermen when they are Mondasian or when they are like in Spare Parts. Or the the Cybers Industries ones,
yeah.
But yeah, like you say, it's. I think the biggest story in the whole thing is Yvonne.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she just wants to be a crewman, and when it actually happens to her, all she wants to do is go home.
Yeah, she is the equivalent of the patients in the Capaldi two-parter, and they're feeling pain. But it's much more than that because that's still a complete person inside that suit. It is Bill, but from a different point of view.
Yeah, whereas Yvonne is Yvonne.
Because with Yvonne, we're totally seeing it from the outside. We're not really getting her point of view. So when you get the emotions coming through the cyber suit and it's still the cyber voice,
well, she's
still kind of...
She's effectively the girl in Age of Steel when he turns the emotion chip off.
She's
supposed to be getting married.
Yep, that is totally right. That and the whole nature of the humans getting converted in Age of Steel is totally stuff that they took from Spare Parts.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said earlier on in this podcast, I mean, it's still a thing that you can watch both individually and as different complete stories, but you know when one's been taken from the other. Unlike Jubilee to Dalek, where it was the same writer, here it was... hey, Mark Platt, can we nick these ideas of yours? Don't worry, you'll get full credit.
And he totally did, to be fair. It was Toby McRae? Not McRae, Tom McRae.
Tom McRae, and they actually wrote a credit in the closing credits saying elements taken from Spare Parts written by Mark Platt.
Yeah. Because there was no Commander Zeng, sadly. Because I like Commander Zeng. He is odd and strange.
Came back in another story, I believe, so he became a recurring character.
Well, you got him, and you got... I love the fact that they call them Sisterman and Doctorman.
Yeah.
And that's where the Cyberman thing comes from. It's so odd and strange, and the... effectively, the council, the cyber controller. Fucking freakish voice. And it had to be 5. It had to be the 5th Doctor to do that. It had to be... It couldn't be anyone that was active. It had to be... Because he was more passive, is 5, isn't he? He reacts to situations rather than puts himself in situations. And Nyssa always had to be Nyssa, I think, because Nyssa's great. Do you know what the best thing about the Big Finish things is? It gives companions who previously hadn't had their turn to shine, their turn to shine. So Nyssa was always drowned out of it by Adric and Tegan.
A
little bit.
Yeah.
She's fucking great as Nyssa in those.
She's now had, through mass media, more stories than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Era, because I think there's a good 30 audio stories with her in now.
Yeah. It's the same with Perry, though. Perry gets a lot more fleshed out, especially with the stuff when she's with Eminem and all that. Because one of the best stories I've listened to recently was Son of the Dragon, the one with James Purefoy.
Yes,
Dracula.
The one that's based on Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, that is so good.
Oh, I'll have to listen to that.
One I don't recommend is Necromantia, because that one is a bit of a... it's squicky to listen to.
Oh, I don't bother, man. I like that stuff. But yeah, Lee, if you've not listened to Son of the Dragon, like I say, it's got James Purefoy in it, so it's worth it for that.
Oh, there's also Axis of Insanity, written by one Simon Thurman.
Never heard of him.
Of course you haven't.
There's been a few I've been listening to lately that have been really good. There was Daleks Among Us.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. That's all about Nazis and stuff. It's great. And obviously, again, Terry Malloy and the Juggernauts. That is great. I just love the fact that... What's your name? Dr. Vasso. Oh, right, okay then. It's not Dan Ross then. But again, Mel's really good in that. The good thing about Bonnie Langford playing Mel in Big Finish is that she takes her voice. She's done it completely on purpose. She takes her voice down a couple of octaves.
Yes, noticed that.
So she's not speaking in like JNT wanted her to be, because clearly that's what he wanted. I always felt really sorry for Bonnie Langford, because she is a good actress. She always was.
Yeah, the novels fleshed out Mel to quite an extent.
Yeah,
they took basically... Yeah, I mean, Business Unusual is one, Millennial Rights is another. But then the audios took that and not necessarily contradict them, because now, the audios and the books aren't really smooth together.
No, the audios are canon.
The audios are now canon indeed, but they took the best elements from those books, and what we got is Bonnie Langford as Mel Bush, and it's a well fleshed up character. They took all of the aspects of her that, well, let's face it, was probably written on a blinking bit of bog roll and sent over to JNT, but they made those aspects, and she lived it. And there's some really, really, really good audio stories based purely around her character. I mean, recently, Mel's returned post Dragonfire, and she's now traveling with the Doctor and Ace again. And it's a completely different character of Mel, because this is a Mel that's now experienced a life of crime over several years. So, yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with this with her.
Excellent stuff. Well, getting back to Spare Parts very briefly. Obviously, like we say, it's a tragedy. It's pretty much like Genesis of the Daleks. It didn't have to be that way. But it's like Tomb of the Cybermen, where I always say, the reason that Tomb of the Cybermen is so good is because everything in it is inevitable. It's really got this crushing sense of inevitability, like, doesn't matter if the Doctor's here or not, this is always going to be how it plays out. And the thing I really love about Spare Parts, spoilers, is that even though the Doctor averts it that time, it still becomes inevitable that the Cybermen will be what they are.
Yeah. It might even be argued that the Doctor's very presence there, might have even sped things along, even though he thinks he may have postponed it. It might have made it so they do travel all the way back to Earth and all that other stuff, because now they're aware of stuff, which of course we know they are.
Exactly.
Thanks.
I mean, what do you think of the story, though? I mean, is it sort of one of your favourites? Is it something that you sort of listen to on a regular basis?
I haven't listened to it for years, but when I did listen to it, it absolutely creeped me out. I get chills right up your spine. You can feel every bone in your spine. It was like that. I got, oh.
Yeah.
I was like I say, especially the what effectively is a cyber controller. Their voice is creepy, and it's just the way, especially when they're talking to Zeng. You've got these whole sort of scenes where it's just them and Zeng talking to each other.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I was just imagining, if you've seen the bits of 10th Planet where the mouth just opens and the sing-song voice comes out. That was all I could imagine, and that, to me, is the creepiest thing about the Cybermen. The voices.
Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I do love the 80s Cybermen with David Banks going, excellent. I love that. I love the Christopher Robbie And I do love the ones from like the moon base and all that, but the ones that really creep me out are the 60s Cybermen. Because they're creepy. What they are is just basically medical gurneys taking life.
Yeah, you can see you can't with the 80s Cybermen, you can't see that they used to be human, but you can with the 60s Cybermen.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, we do rip on Sayward quite a bit in this podcast, but to his credit, he did try and rectify that with the clear chin parts on Earthshock. And that is kind of creepy. But yeah, absolutely, they are creepier in the 60s when... I mean, it was totally done out of necessity. They weren't thinking, this will look creepy. They just didn't have the parts. But, oddly enough. But absolutely, I do like them. And yeah, you're quite right, spare parts is chilling. Because like you say, you've got Paul Copley, and that is his catchphrase by the end of it, is just put the kettle on.
Yeah. Put the kettle on every time. It's his way of trying to hand wave of the nastiness that's going around him is put the kettle on.
Yeah, and that's the difference between feeling sorry for the Mundassians. You can't feel sorry for the Khaleds, because the Khaleds and the Dals in Genesis of the Daleks are assholes.
Yeah, people seem to think, the Fowls are the pacifists. The Fowls were only really the pacifists in one story. Not even Planet of the Daleks were they really goody two-shoes. I mean, yeah, they're totally going to go say all the best bits. You know, the Doctor's telling them, right, don't try and glory hog this. The Fowls are inevitably going to completely glory hog this. And the Fowls were gits in Genesis and the Daleks.
They were assholes.
You know, the Daleks and the Fowls were bred by war. There's a very good chance that the Fowls could just become Daleks just as much as the Khaleds did. It's just that happens that the Khaleds basically had Davros on their side.
Well, on their side is a bit much.
Well, Davros and Knight are pretty much
side
themselves, but...
But also, the Thals didn't have Lieutenant Gruber.
No. Where's my beautiful tank? Exterminate!
His tiny tank. I must admit, first time I ever saw that, I
still don't understand how Davros and the Daleks managed to convince the Khaleds to become Daleks, forcing them into the tin can, more or less.
He's basically, he just said, into there or we kill you.
Yeah.
And they big, it's like that's the Dalek way. Let's face it, it's certainly Davros's way. And again, going with the big finish, you do find a lot more about Davros is the fact that he's in constant pain. It's like the Curse of Davros. It's a great story. If you've never heard the Curse of Davros, if you ever want to know how Davros is the way he is, that's a great story to listen to because he's in constant tumultuous pain. He just wants to die, but he can't.
There's a whole arc that people can check out. They can check out Davros.
Davros
which is,
and all that.
Yeah, Davros, which was a solo story for the Sixth Doctor set during the Perry times. Then you can go back and you can listen to the 4-part miniseries called I, Davros, which literally gives you the entire origin of Davros from childhood until the Capaldi season came along.
Stars the guy who played Tommy off Idiot's Lantern as well as Davros.
Yes.
Interesting.
Until adulthood, where he literally burns his own eyes to cinders in his own experimentations and stuff. He literally brings upon his own sort of creation in a way. And then you can finish it off with the Curse of Davros. That's a neat little arc to go through.
Yeah. Plus it's also a flip story, which means it's instantly great. It's the first one, I think, as well.
There's sort of.
Yeah, I think she's in one before that, and then this is the one which becomes a proper companion.
Yeah, her and her boyfriend come in a story that involves Evelyn Smythe and I forget his name, but he's played by that Picard guy. It's gone. But you also had the Northern policewoman in there as well that also appeared in a Charlotte Pollard story. So it was quite a fan-wanky story, to be fair, but a good one. Anyway, I digress.
Yes, well, we do that a lot, but that's fine. Any last words on... Oh, sorry, Leigh, yeah?
I was just about to say, that's the whole point of this podcast.
Yes.
To digress.
we have points that we like to hit, but mainly it's just us crapping on about how much we like Doctor Who, because no one's heard me talk about Doctor Who ever.
No.
In fact, I will say, though... Oh, sorry, Leigh?
Seriously, nobody's really heard of me talk about it.
No.
Unless the old Life Journal.
Well, I remember that. I remember your live journal. I will say a couple of things. For people who are scared we've got a new doctor and it's a lady now and it's all weird. And look, I liked Doctor Who since I was 3, so roughly about 38 years. Mm-hmm. It's a show about change. It's a show that every few years or so, your doctor that you've grown used to and accustomed to, they're going to go away. And that's okay. It's just another person taking up the reins. It's not going to be a massive change. It's still going to be the Doctor. It's still going to be the Doctor. Just like Missy was the Master.
Just the outward appearance that's changed.
Yeah. And it's
further than just changed further than it's usually gone before.
Yeah. You know, they're not stupid. They're not going to hook her up with any male companions. That was just Russell T Davies and his wank fantasies about David Tennant. If you notice, that shit's not happened since.
No.
You know?
They even shoved that out of the way when Amy came onto the Doctor after the Time of Angels.
Yeah. It's like, if you ever doubt that, look at Day of the Doctor when War Doctor says, does that happen a lot? It does start to happen. He's obviously not happy with it. And he's, you know, the fact I liked about 11 is that he's a sort of gawky virgin. He doesn't like girls. But I don't do kissing. Even Clara, he didn't really understand Clara's obsession. But, you know, they're not going to do that. They're not going to hook him up with girls or anything like that. It's still the Doctor. It's just a lady now, that's all. It's a same software, different case, to allude to the Sonic Screwdriver.
That would be wonderful, but she'll not come back.
What was that, sorry?
River.
Yeah, no, we don't need River to come back. Her story's done now.
Yep. If anyone wants River song, we'll just keep on saying it. Big Finish have both her, Jack Harkness in their own shows now you can listen to.
That's who I'd like to come back. Harkness.
Jack Harkness.
I'd love Harkness to come back. Just for, like, what? Just so he could perv on the Doctor one last time.
Oh, yeah, that would be hilarious.
He totally would perv on the Doctor. He'd say, what, because it's Jack Harkness and he'll fuck anything that moves.
It always reminds me
just
of
like
Joey
John
from
Barrowman.
Friends.
Yeah, he is Joey from Friends in space. No, he isn't. I'll tell you who Jack Harkness is. John Barrowman.
Yes.
He's just John Barrowman. Attention-seeking sex hound. Barrowman! But yeah, and if you do feel the need to stop watching the show, tell you what, don't tell everyone about it. We don't need to know. Just stop watching the show. I've seen a lot. I'm going to tell everyone that I'm going to stop watching the show. Mate, I don't care. It's not going to stop me watching it.
It's your prerogative.
It's too late.
Watch a show. Watch a show.
It's too late.
I don't know. I think Chris Marshall would have nearly made us stop watching. I was going to go, oh no, because I can't stand the man.
I said the only person that would have stopped me watching is Idris Elba, just because he's an Arsenal fan who said that if Tottenham won anything, he'd puke.
30 years ago this year, we watched the Doctor regenerate into a man who previously stuffed ferrets down his trousers. I think if we can
On his was, no less.
On his was, and many a circus out there, and hammer nails up his nose as well. If we can live through that, and to be fair,
turned out to be one of the best Doctors.
So Wes McCall is one of the best Doctors. Maybe not necessarily one of the best actors, but certainly one of the best Doctors. If we can live through that, I think we can pretty much live through anything.
Yeah,
I think it'll be fine, lads. I really do think it'll be fine.
But Glenn, I fear vaginas.
Oh no, vagina's in the TARDIS. Oh no, she's going to make it pink inside, isn't she? And every 5 months, 5 days every month, it's going to turn red. Is the TARDIS, isn't it?
But
because women.
For all we know, Time Lords probably piss blood out of their dicks every 4 weeks anyway. We don't know. They're aliens.
Well, no, they're all barren.
Oh God, I remember years ago there was some fan fiction about the 10th Doctor and Rose having sex, and it turned out this fan fiction, the Doctor had a cocker opened up like a flower, and it was the worst thing I'd ever read in my life.
That's like Harry Partridge's Avatar sketch. Anyone's ever seen that? Harry, hello Harry, if you're listening. But he did the same thing with, the guy from Avatar becoming one of the Na'vi, is it? I've never seen the film. But it turns out his version of having sex isn't quite their version of having sex, and it's all a bit weird and nice, and it's funny. Go watch it.
You know the one from Stranger Things? When I saw that, I thought, Doctor's cock.
I still need to see Stranger Things. I've never seen it. Still need to watch that. It's amazing that I haven't. But like I say, we've got a long time to wait until the new Doctor's going to be doing anything anyway. It's going to be autumn next year, as far as I'm aware. They're not even started filming anything with her yet. But I wish her all the luck in the world. There's a lot of pressure on her shoulders. But she's the right age. She's, the right gender at this point in time to be the Doctor. And Chibnall obviously thinks that she's the best actress for the job. Actor, sorry, I do apologise. But yeah, he seems to think she's the right woman for the job. So, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks except Chris Chibnall, because it's his show now. Or it will be after December. So, rather than bitch and moan and say, I'm going to sell my Doctor Who stuff, how about, I know apparently there is somebody that a friend of mine knows that has said that. He's selling all his Doctor Who stuff. It's dead to him now, is the show. Instead of acting like a entitled whiny baby, and I'm not going to say man baby, because I've seen women on Twitter and Facebook say exactly, if I can't perv on the Doctor no more, I'm not watching it. Well, fucking...
people who were going on saying they weren't going to watch anymore because Capaldi's too old.
Yeah. If that's your attitude, then you're not a real fan of the show, so fucking do one. There you go.
Yeah, I said the same thing about Torchwood. I came to a certain season about Torchwood. I said I'd never watch it again, and I never did. I know. But neither did I comment.
To be fair, mate, I was out at episode 2. It's an alien who lives off sex. There you go. I'm out. Thanks. Oddly enough, Chris Chibnall episode. Oh no! I tried to watch Cyberwoman, and I'm like, this is shit. This is terrible.
To be fair, though, the show itself contradicted it by making Janto gay afterwards. Anyway,
always have been gay. Speaking totally not about that, but Janto, his actor, I forget his name, Gareth something or other.
Gareth Lloyd.
That's it. But good old Gareth Lloyd. I saw a film with him the other week. It's the Asylum's version of Sherlock Holmes, where he plays Dr. Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Film, shit. Absolute fucking terrible. Sherlock Holmes himself, awful. Gareth Lloyd was actually really good. I wouldn't mind seeing him as Watson again.
Gareth Lloyd's a great actor.
Poor Gareth. He deserved better than that film, that's for sure. And this was after Torchwood as well, so he deserved better than that. I don't think he's been in much since. He probably does a lot of theatre, I'm guessing. I could do with seeing him again in something, but not Torchwood though, please. Can we not? Unless we redefine what Chibnall and Davies thought adult meant. Because it don't mean sexy sex. Can we have a whole season of the cannibal ones, please?
Well, you say all that, but Torchwood's coming back for a season 5 on Big Finish, but it's not the same writers. It's the Big Finish writers writing it.
So it might be decent, because the books were actually pretty good. I do remember buying the books when they were coming out, and that were pretty good. And was it Countryside, the cannibal one with Owen Teale? That was so good. That was such a great episode. That chilled me to the fucking...
Is that the one set in the Black Mountains?
Yeah, when they're just eating people. There's nothing supernatural or weird about it or anything like that. It's like one of those X-Files episodes when there's nothing to do with the law or supernatural. They're always the most chilling ones because it's just humans being dicks. I
took offence to that because I actually lived in the nearby village near the Black Mountains.
We know what you lot are like.
I lived in Glanammon, so, that was like next to Brynhammon, which is literally the cusp of before you get to the Black Mountains.
We all know what you Valley lot are like. We all know what you lot are like in Bloody Rhondda and all that, so,
Oh, God. I'm not getting flack for sodding townie. Shut up, you swans, Jack.
Fuck off, I'm Jack Bastard and Proud, mate, is what I am. I live right across the stadium, so if I wanted to, I should really be supporting them.
Me, I'm Glenn. I'm from Swansea.
I'm from Swansea. One of my girlfriend's best mates is the president of the Ospreys. So yeah, I can get a box in there anytime I want, motherfuckers. I haven't yet, but I will do next season. But there you go. Excellent stuff. We shall leave it there. I think that's as good a place as any. Mr. Matt, thank you for being on.
Yes. Yeah, finally. Yahoo!
We shall try and get you on at some other point, I am sure, to discuss stuff. If one wanted to find you on the old wide world of the interwebs, where's the best place to be doing that?
You can find me on practically anything as Timey2Wimey, being Tumblr, Twitter, Steam, anywhere you want to find me. That is Timey, the number 2, and Wymie. I am community manager on the Old All House. That's theoldallhouse.weebly.com. I do have a couple of podcasts. I've barely done anything with either of them, that being the Cyberits Anime podcast and the Open Air Anime radio thing, where I play lots and lots of lovely music. But that's probably it.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's not much at all. There you go. And Leigh, obviously, you're the co-host, so thank you for being on, I guess. Where can we find you?
Instagram, Leigh Wildtime, after Iris Wildtime, obviously. I spend a lot of time using our Nerva Beacon Facebook page.
Yes. Yes, you use it more than I do, which is fantastic.
Well, I keep finding all this wonderful stuff about Doctor Who, and I think, yes, that's got to go there.
I keep meaning to put all the Babel colour stuff up, because some of their stuff is great. I do love Babel Colour. They've been doing a great series on the Doctors Who, the Almost Doctors they call it, and they do the 70s, and it's all the actors that could have been the Doctor. And the only one I really get pissed off about that he never was Richard Griffiths. I would have loved to see Richard Griffiths.
Didn't he? That Uncle Monty. Yeah,
well, I was going to say, if nothing else, that would be the Withnail and I hat trick, wouldn't it? Because everyone else has been, because obviously Richard E. Grant was kind of the Doctor twice, and obviously McGann is the 8th Doctor, and it would have been cool to have Uncle Monty on there as well. Plus it's got Ralph Brown on there, and I would have loved to have seen him as the Doctor. He would have been absolutely great. I mean, I would have sorted that Cyberman out, but it turns out he's fucking dead. But anyway, yeah, that would have been awesome. Obviously, myself... Exactly. Obviously, myself, you can find me at Cymru Nerd Cave on Twitter. That's at Cymru, as in the place Wales, and then Nerd Cave. You can find me on Facebook, Glenn Jakeman. Send me a message, please, first, because otherwise I won't let you see my stuff on Facebook. Not it's private, I just don't like you. And obviously, you can find us at Nerva Beacon Podcast on Twitter as well. And on Facebook, Nerva Beacon. If you put that in there, it will take you directly to us. Excellent stuff. That's episode 4 in the cans. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time, talking about something else, Doctor Who, the novel or a book or something. We'll work something out. And I think it's Leigh's turn to come up with something, so I'm sure she will.
Comic on that weekend, so I don't know how it's going to work.
That's a good idea. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going to both. It might be the week after. But, we're going to be meeting each other at Comic-Con, aren't we?
Yep.
Which is going to be weird, because I'm meeting loads of people, apparently, because Phil's going to be there, our friend Harriet going to be there as well, and somebody else. Oh, my mate Dan.
I'm meeting another friend there as well. He's called Noel Taylor, and he's doing he's cosplaying the Xenomorph from Alien.
Oh, nice one. Excellent stuff. Oh, that's going to be hot. He's hoping it isn't hot that weekend, then.
Yeah.
That's going to be awful. It's like, I remember last time I was there was some guy who was about 7'2", cosplaying as Chewbacca, and he must have been fucking destroyed, because it was the hottest day of the year as well. So hopefully not. But yeah, I'm meeting my friend Dan as well, who's a massive Doctor Who and Sherlock fan. He's the one, and my friend and Shane and myself are going to get him to watch some classic Doctor Who, because he won't watch it. He's a big new Who fan, but he won't watch classic Doctor Who. He thinks it's rubbish. How dare you?
How does he know when he hasn't watched it?
It's because he's young. He's only young, to be fair. He thinks all the sets look hopeless. Yes! That's the point!
You get him started on Blake 7, and then when his mind has melted through all that, then you put him on Doctor Who.
Blake 7's worse than Doctor Who for what?
That's why you sort of like, okay.
How dare you both? How fucking dare you both? Blake 7 is the best. I love Blake 7. Especially
I love Blake 7.
I love Blake 7.
My favourite character in Blake 7 is Everland's Wardrobe.
Well, yes. Yeah, it is a character all of itself.
My favourite character in Blake 7's Brian Blessed. He only did one episode.
I think we all know who my favourite character out of Blake 7 will be.
That'll be that reporter guy gets killed in episode 1. Yeah, Glenn?
No, it's Ding Dong. I love Ding Dong. You know, Avon calling.
We kind of always knew you like Ding Dong.
I love Avon. Yeah, I love the Ding Dong. Anyway, we're going to end it there. Say bye bye, Matt.
Bye bye.
Say bye bye, Leigh.
Bye-bye, Lee.
See you all in a few weeks. Bye-bye for now.
See you. Bye.